This podcast is brought to you in part by spam political calls that don't seem to fucking stop.
I'm getting calls. I'm getting text messages. Like, it is crazy right now.
Like, I think my phone probably rang 20 fucking times today alone. Like, they finally stopped, but it just keeps coming. It says potential spam or unknown number. And then I finally picked the shit up after once, and there was no sound.
Yeah, this really has to stop because I'm getting the same thing. Like, I don't know. Then wasn't there a bill passed some time ago that was limiting that or preventing that?
To stop the auto dialers, yeah, but like that doesn't stop them from using it.
I don't think it's auto dialers. I think it's like some people like sending a fucking thing trying to get you to vote for Trump or vote for Biden. Or, hey, did you know we're going to still eventually build that wall? Or, hey, Biden wasn't a complete pervert. Either way, I could give less of a fuck.
Right.
I mean, because I'm just looking at this. Who's going to take care of me during income tax time? Like, that's what I'm worried about.
Neither.
Yeah. It's crazy because I saw a Biden commercial, and he was like, I was for Obamacare. And it's like, I thought Obamacare was the name people gave healthcare, like, that didn't like Obamacare. Like, they called it Obamacare because they were kind of like shitting on it a little bit.
Correct.
Right.
It was called the Affordable Health Care Act.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but he was like, I was for it. Like, so you were for Obamacare, but you're literally calling it the name.
Because the one thing the Republican Party is good at is branding stuff. So nobody, in my job, I run into people all the time who literally don't know that the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare are the same thing.
Right. But I think maybe he's using it because people who hate Trump, I mean, Obama is a buzzword, so why not just call it that? I mean, if
but they wouldn't have the opposite effect.
So you mean he's like
Trump,
he's like the Dougnificent in the Boondocks, like he's dick riding Obama.
Exactly. Like, if you hate Trump and you miss how things were under Obama, then of course you're going to use that buzzword. So I think that's why that's being done.
Before we start, please stop fucking calling me. I don't got time for this shit.
Right.
And with that, we will introduce our new episode of Two Dab Crew Presents The Powder Room, podcast episode 18. It's your boy Powder here with Andre and Ergoff.
Yo.
No special guest today. We had to take a break and take it back to the classic.
Right.
And before, I know like people can't see it, but my man is looking fresh today.
Yo, I appreciate that.
And unfortunately, you're fresher than me.
Man, I just, I've been slumming it all week. And
I'm looking at you with the hat on, the button-up shirt, the shoes. They're not sneakers, they're shoes. It's like, fuck, man. Like, I need to get fresh. So I do, before we get into anything, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's been showing love to the podcast. We're seeing a big spike, and stuff. I don't know if it's just us re-listening to it. But a lot of love, a bunch of followers on Instagram, and we haven't even released that the Landy episode.
Dope.
And we already got like 6 more followers. I've had to give away my first piece of 25 every 25th follower gear.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to take a second before we get into anything. I do want to shout out Orlando, the clothing brand in Orlando. They just dropped off a fire jersey for me. Pics will be posted on IG soon.
I ain't get a jersey
because you didn't pay for it.
I mean,
so
yeah.
In collaboration, working with local brands, Orlando is definitely somebody we want to work with in the future. So links and stuff will be posted for them.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the Millions brand.
Yeah, they treat us right.
So they've been treating us right, especially working with our affiliate, Elite Photos. But also, like I always shout out Elite Photos, as our official affiliate. But I just want to make sure that we recognize the whole Elite brand because they're more than just the photos,
management, productions, promotions.
The Elite conglomerate has an umbrella of different avenues they explore, and it's more than just one brand. So I just want to make sure we
have like 19 jobs.
Listen, they're doing their thing. So, you can easily find them on our IG. Yeah. So I just want to show some love to that. And also Ozzy Oz, the virus, is currently in production of our new logo.
Ooh.
So I did get that to him. And we did get some COVID facial coverings made. So if you're interested in a 2Dab Crew branded facial covering, hit us up on IG.
Right. That way you can dab on people constantly.
That way you can dab on people, represent the crew. So big announcement. Starting next podcast, or do we wait till episode 20?
Let's do episode 20.
We're officially going to start, at least first, broadcasting on IG Live. So as we record the podcast, we'll broadcast it on IG Live. And if you want to interact with the show, you can comment. And if assuming everything works right when we work out the kinks, we'll be able to respond, in accurate time. So right. if you're listening afterwards, it won't be live for you. But if you want to actually tune in live, you can tune in live on the IG, broadcast and
right.
Interact with the crew, I guess, would be the terminology.
Does this mean are we going to do finally the video reveal? Is that happening?
So it will be facial reveals finally, which will require not so much as you, my friend, but you,
listen. I am David Banner right now with the wife beater and looking diesel-ish.
I believe.
I mean, I will not tell anybody what to do, but if you want to represent yourself that way, by all means.
That or what's his name from Black Snake Moan?
I would ask that if you're gonna look like a bum, at least have some decent shoes on.
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that.
I mean, we definitely got to give him some fashion advice because he can't. I don't know if he's got it in him.
I got it.
When it comes to dripping and swag, it definitely is not Andre.
I mean,
I used to.
I've known him for some years, and he's been super cash.
Andre used to be swagged out when we were in Miami. Right. We were like 19, 20. Right. We would go out, and he would always be in a linen suit.
I was the linen dude, bro.
He was. That makes so much sense.
He would be out there in a pair of dress shoes with the linen suit on, looking straight.
Right.
Cuba
or the
Vera.
Marc Ecko cut and sew, Cuba Vera, the Banana Republic shit. I was fly.
Who was I talking to about you? And we were talking about your shoes because you ruined your shoes doing the last photo shoot in the water.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've never seen Andre own a pair of shoes, name brand, in my life. And
that's not true because I used to rock those racing Pumas.
Well, you didn't even let me finish.
Oh, okay.
20 years, just about. And the only pair of name brand shoes he ever wore were a pair of racing Pumas. The Pumas that had the little Goodyear shit on the side.
Oh wow!
No, them shits was.
He used to wear them in his Toyota Solara when he used to think he could drift and shit in it.
Hey, I drifted that shit on the highway with you in it, and then I drifted the 300 several times.
So we used to do this thing called Ghost Car. You'd be on the highway or driving down the street and suddenly just turn off all the lights to the car.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stupid and dangerous.
Then there was the when I was hungry and he wasn't, he would drive backwards through the drive-through so I could order.
Andre, that's such an Andre thing for you to do.
Yeah,
hey man, those were good times, bro.
It definitely is. So again, episode 18. One more episode before we get to episode 20. So I guess we're in agreement to episode 20.
Yeah, I'll get a haircut.
Do something big. We'll start, putting on the videos, and it'll help us, really bring some more light to, things we talk about.
Right.
So with that being said, a couple topics, that kind of relate to the last podcast. So these are just notes that I get when I'm driving home. So stop me at any time or add to it. So R. Kelly's in jail, right? Mm-hmm. So is there a new meaning to jamming R. Kelly?
Oh, that's terrible.
For some of the inmates, sure.
That's terrible.
So what do you think the guy says? Yo, what are you gonna do after rec time? I'm about to go jam me some R. Kelly.
Oh,
Wow.
oh, this is terrible. I don't want to think about this.
So do you think you think it's like payback? You know how they do in prison? Like if you're a child molester, you know, you go to prison, like they really, you know, fuck you up because, you know, you did something, you know, it's like, oh, you're a murderer, that's cool. Oh, you're a child molester. Whoa. Like you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the bad end of the broomstick.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about that. I was like, yo, like I'm jamming R. Kelly. And I'm like, no, I'm not jamming R. Kelly. I was like, the dudes in prison is jamming R. Kelly right now. Does anybody feel bad for him? Because I was listening to, you know, one of the podcasts I was editing, and we were just going off, and I was like, yo, the man's not worth $100,000 right now. But I made a good point. I was like, how the hell do you own a house with sex slaves but not have any money?
Right.
My thing is, I don't, because, you know, we learn at an early age about consequences to our actions. So I don't feel bad for him.
So after that episode, I actually thought of a conspiracy. What if R. Kelly is paying the protesters to be there? And then...
But he has no money. Remember,
I know,
we determined that he went from being worth $150 million to being worth
that's
Mr. Hanky on the toilet paper.
That's on paper. You don't know what other stuff he has going on. Hidden money and hidden accounts. I put my conspiracy...
I know he ain't spending it right now.
I put my conspiracy fool hat on, and I was all like, he's paying the protesters to be there, paid his cellmate to whoop his ass so then he could be under home arrest instead of being...
You mean like 6ix9ine?
Yeah.
When 6ix9ine was locked up and he started coughing and they pleaded for him to get house arrest so he wouldn't get COVID?
Right.
Absolute clown that guy is.
Right.
By the way.
Yeah.
So look, I'm proven right. What if it's all a conspiracy to get R. Kelly out of jail and to his house?
Okay.
With his sex slaves.
So next thing, and again, I'm just going to rattle these things off. I have come to the conclusion, unfortunately, and it's a very, very sad day, that only giraffes will not work.
Someone bought the domain from under us?
No. I don't think most people know how to fucking spell giraffe. I was sitting there trying to type the topic, and I was like, yo, I wonder if only giraffes is taken. And then I'm like, wait, how do you spell giraffe?
2 F's.
So you mean because you couldn't spell it, you think most people can't spell only giraffes?
Listen, if I can't spell giraffe, I was like GIRAFFE. That's actually right, but some people might spell giraffe like GRA, giraffe, like GIRRAFT, like giraffe.
I can't spell it. I just pick up my phone and go, Siri, giraffe.
Yeah,
and
so
see how it's spelled.
So like definitely we would have to, like, for it to work, we would have to advertise where you could just click a link, because there's no way in hell most people these days are going to be able to spell giraffe.
Can you imagine that?
I feel like you're underestimating the public, but I feel like it's also kind of true.
Underestimating the public. Most people don't know how to sign their name in cursive anymore.
Right.
Most people don't know how to add. You asking what? You know, like a dying trend is going to be being a fucking, like, a waiter or a waitress or a bartender, because maybe not a bartender so much, but waiter or waitresses, because people can't factor percentages. DJ Will, you know, which I'll jump on the topic of him in a second because I want to roast the fuck out of him. But we went to a bar. He was like, how much should I tip? I'm like, 10%. He put $3 on a $50 bill.
Holy shit.
But 10%, that's kind of weak, bro.
I mean, at least 10%. You know, he couldn't figure out 10%.
We need to be working. Well, yeah, because 10 is a nice whole number, but we really need to be working in the 20s.
Of course, you need to do that. But he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, okay, so it's $50 and he couldn't figure out 10% of $50?
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like people these days, they don't know how to add. Like, we don't teach them that thing. You know, when you go to school and I ask you how to do multiplication, you're using your phone as a calculator. You know, They don't even make Texas Instrument graphing calculators anymore.
I had that TI 83 Plus Silver Edition.
Remember that with the little game on it that you could do that?
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, but you don't see that anymore. When's the last time you saw somebody say they had to get like
a TI 88?
What?
Bro, they were
TI
hating.
88. That's what we used in school. Yeah.
You know, because I don't think who cares about that.
They
anymore?
were hating on my 83 Silver Edition.
You
bro.
know, when everything is digital now, who the fuck knows? And now with homeschooling, you definitely can't control like people using calculators and shit. You know, when I was growing up, you had to actually know how to add and subtract and do all these things.
And they were sticklers about you showing your work, even though you didn't need to.
Yeah. So,
bitch, the answer is what it is because I said it is, and I'm right. Leave me alone.
all right. So anyway, DJ Will Knight, has been ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Forever.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say since episode 9.
Bro, I ain't seen him in
He's
a minute.
disappeared. We've replaced him with Urgoff.
Right.
What a difference. But so I'm talking to his moms, and she's like, "Oh, he got a new girl. Where do you meet this one? At the beach. Same place he met his last girl, at the beach." And yes, homie, I'm roasting you right now.
Are they similar in?
Well, that's what we asked. We asked if they were similar, and my aunt said no. He says she's not. I guess she showed him a picture. She was kind of cute, from Pennsylvania or something. But I was like, this motherfucker ain't go to no beach to meet no chick. Like how you go to the beach by yourself and just run up to a chick and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, he's got to be the man, but I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I know DJ Will well enough to know that no, that shit
He's
ain't
not
going
just
down.
rolling up solo on some chicks.
I don't think so.
Pulling them.
I don't think so.
He ain't got game like that.
Matches for Solo. Solo, a Star Wars story.
Shut up, Siri. Damn, Siri want to get it on the podcast. Special guest.
I see.
All right, so next thing, because we're rolling through these things. Why do I think Bella Thorne turned OnlyFans into the XFL?
Really?
Is that like accurate?
No.
Because OnlyFans used to be the thing, and now that there's all these restrictions and shit, I mean, it's only time until something else takes its place. I mean, and also like TikTok. TikTok apparently is being shut down as of Sunday.
Yeah.
So they said that if you have the app, it's fine. The app will still work on your phone. You just won't be able to update it anymore.
Yeah.
Which I guess if you have an Android, it'll be cool because you could always download some, application. But for us Apple users, we're kind of stuck. Granted, I could deal without chicks stomping their feet and slapping their hips and doing that weird kick with the elbow to the left.
I don't have a TikTok. So.
They always do that kick with the elbow to the left. Like they doing the fucking Macarena. Like, So every time I see that kick to the left, I think they're Jamal Anderson about to do the fucking Dirty Bird on John Elway.
Shit.
Remember that?
Yes.
So,
Dirty Bird.
All right. What else you got?
So I'm driving to work this morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this shit, and I start getting fucking anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm tired as fuck. It's like 4 a.m, dark as fuck on the highway, and I'm like, what created the universe?
You having like an existential crisis driving into work?
So hear me out. So I'm like, all right, well, regardless if you believe in Adam and Eve or you believe in single cell organisms, right?
Mm-hmm.
The evolution of life. I'm thinking about before that. What created the rocks that we live on? What created the sun? What created what we call space? And then I was like, what happens when that shit shuts down? Like the sun burns, right? And the sun keeps the planets in orbit and they float.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People don't believe David Blaine could float, but they'll believe a fucking planet could float. So, okay. But what happens if that shit stops? Like, we have no plan for, post-apocalypse.
Because it's not my problem.
We're
And B,
can you imagine the fucking Earth falling and hitting some like plane and cracking into pieces?
I think by the time that happens, Mars will be colonized. And
Yeah, but if the Earth falls,
questions?
wouldn't Mars fall too?
Can I address your question?
Okay.
So first, to answer your first question, By stop, basically what would happen is the fusion in the core of the sun would stop, and then it would implode on itself, and then make a black hole potentially.
Supernova first,
right?
And potentially
then into a black hole. To answer your next question, gravity is, you're thinking in a 2-dimensional space, and you'd be thinking of a 3-dimensional space. It's not going to fall. The Earth isn't going to fall. Something's going to have to pull on it. So I guess technically if something big enough was underneath the Earth, it would pull it down.
But what is out there? Like, so
there's no gravity in space, so it would still be floating. So
what protects us from the brinks of space? It's the atmosphere.
Right.
But we put holes in that shit all the time.
Correct.
So it's like, how long before... But I'm telling you, it's dark as fuck. And I'm like, yo, what happens when the fucking sun stops? Like, what do we do?
We die.
We don't do anything because it's not going to stop in our lifetime, I'm pretty sure.
You don't know that. I know. You can't guarantee that.
It hasn't swelled into a supergiant.
But that brings...
You can't guarantee
that's got to happen first.
That brings...
An alien species could come along and go like, yo, fuck this universe, and then blow up our sun.
Well, then...
But I still wonder what created planets. Like it.
Apparently, the Big Bang started the whole universe.
You could say a Big Bang, but what created the Big Bang?
Well,
it's like drifting. It's drifting. Like
that's how I married.
It's very hard to not believe in. I'm not saying a religion, but some type of like
higher being,
exponential power to get there and say. Yo, like this shit just randomly appeared. Like there was an explosion of rocks, but where did a rock come from? Where did the mineral
gases?
Well, it could be explosion of farts. Flaming asses 6. From, it doesn't matter what it was, but what created that. And then that brought me to like I'm sitting there like having a nervous fucking breakdown. I get off the highway. There's this huge fucking bat that flies by in front of my car. At like 5 o'clock.
Batman?
I swear to God, I thought
talking all that shit about Batman. He was coming. He was coming for your ass.
It was a big ass bat, and I was like, yo, like if I were to believe any fucking bat would turn into a fucking human being like Dracula, it was that fucking bat. I was like, holy fuck, that is a huge bat. That bitch was, the way it was flapping its wings too, man, that shit looked Predator. Like, I was like, oh,
like fuck. The bat from Batman Forever that they constantly show where it's big as fuck.
Like the big shit. Like, I was like, holy shit. I was like, I thought it was gonna like fucking, if it transformed, I would have had like not believed it. I would have been like, makes fucking sense. Big ass bat. But that leads me to the topic today. You have 24 hours to live, right? Not saying the Earth's gonna die, but you get told you got 24 hours to live. What's on the agenda to do? It's a good one, right?
It's a good one.
I mean, I know a lot of people say they want to do a lot of crazy stuff and mark as many things off their bucket list. I want to make sure the people that I care about know that I care about them.
So 24 hours to live.
Yeah, but that takes like 5 minutes.
No, it doesn't.
24 hours to live, unlimited budget.
After making sure, like, yo, I'm peacing out, I would become a supervillain. I would start pulling supervillain hijinks.
I tell you, like on my bucket list, like if you told me I had 24 hours to live, I want to rob a bank with dead president mask on. I'm sorry, like that shit. That shit is eternally burnt in my head. A fucking like us running into a bank with fucking AR-15s and shit and machine guns with fucking
high speed chase,
Richard Nixon and Bill Clinton mask and fucking just robbing that shit.
Yes,
like I don't even want the money, but it's just like the hijinks of that shit. To me, it's like
I think I would gather up everybody, Goodfellas style, fly people in. I got unlimited budget. Get everybody together. We're sitting around the table. We're feasting. And again, like I said, I'm going to let everybody know that I care for them. But I'm also going to tell them exactly what they need to hear without fear of fallout.
So think about this, right? 24 hours to live, unlimited budget. I call you, and I'm like, yo, like, it's my last day. Like, I'm dying. I'll be gone tomorrow. I need you to fly in and have dinner with me. How many of your homeboys are going to be like, nah, son, I got to work tonight? Like, you might be dead, but I still got to pay these fucking bills.
Well, in that case, then I can tell them right then and there.
Think about it. How many hands do you need to count the number of homeboys you know is going to flake out on you?
Oh,
Because I'm going to probably need a couple extra hands. Even though I could be like, yo, I'm fucking dying. I guarantee it's going to be some flake ass motherfuckers out there that's like.
I feel like the majority of the people I would call would come because I wouldn't call anybody I knew wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, you psychic now.
No, I just know people.
Fucking hat over there got him with
especially those close to
psychic detective powers like Veronica Mars because he got the fucking hat on. You think he better than the rest of us because he that fly brim.
I'm better.
You remind me of like the little Asian dude with the hat when he throws it. It's got like the sharp edge and it sticks to shit.
Oh, Odd Job.
Is that what it was?
It was Odd Job. Yeah, from
007.
Yeah.
I'll
take that. Okay.
But I tell you, like, I would want to rob a bank. I would want to fly a helicopter. I guess I would want to live like a day of the life of GTA 5.
Right. Which has become a supervillain.
Yo, like let's set up a heist.
Right.
Right. You go get the school bus. I'm gonna dress as the fucking cop. Right. We're gonna bust into this jail, break some people out. Like, how many of you boys locked up and going to try to get out before you die?
None.
Dude, I'd do a prison. Wow. I'd do a prison break just to do a prison break, bro.
Knowing you got 24 hours to live, you got nothing to live for. You're not going to break your homies out of jail.
They're going to go back.
Oh, you a scrub.
They're just going to go back.
You don't know that.
Besides, I don't have any homies in jail. So,
because you break them out of jail in the morning, you rob the bank at noon, you put them on a flight to the South America, and then they send the drugs back by around 8 p.m.
Again,
you still got another 12 hours before you die at 8 o'clock in the morning the next day.
The people that I rock with like that aren't in jail.
Just break out random dudes. Be all like, yo, I'm breaking you out to come do this, to come rob this bank with me.
Fuck them. I don't know them.
Yo, like, I need to drive a fly-ass sports car. You know, I got to do it. And I'll do it on the highway.
Right.
You know, I don't give a fuck.
Mad illegal and shit.
Yeah,
just
like, you know, like I would want to get my dick sucked from driving a sports car.
the dude we saw coming from South Beach when he was getting head in the car. It was like, oh shit.
He looked over at us and gave us a look. Like, what's up? We was like, yo, we got next. He didn't like that. He took off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've had a few. What you could consider close calls. The things you think about, you're going to think about when you are sitting there contemplating, am I going to make it? Don't necessarily be the things
I would want to fucking antagonize people as much as I can. I'd want to go out like Pee Wee Herman style. Like, if it wasn't COVID, like going to a movie theater, jack off in front of everybody. You know, make people mad uncomfortable. You know, just to be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm dead. I'm gonna traumatize you for the rest of your life.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, you said that like I want to get my family together and let them know I love them. Like I'm trying to wild out.
Right.
Until I'm wild out. I just pray that I get to see the Heat win this championship before it's time to go.
Yeah, but what about the Dolphins? Do you want to put some cash down on the Dolphins?
No, I'm not taking any bets on the Dolphins right now.
They're good and terrible right now.
I know.
I'm doing fantasy football this year, and I lost my first match last week by like 15 points, thanks to the fucking 49ers and the Dolphins defense. You know, so no. I'm not betting any money.
Don't want to bet if they're going to make the playoffs?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Because I can use another $100.
No, I'm so good.
Okay.
So here's a funny topic from my homie. He was telling me about his brother. He's like, when his brother goes to the bathroom, he likes to take off all his clothes.
What?
And use the bathroom and then put them back on.
What does he do in public restrooms?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like, then I went home and I tried to do it. right? I get home and I'm like, all right, let me get completely undressed. I'm sitting there. And even though I was in my own house on the toilet, like sitting on the toilet with no clothes on was kind of awkward.
Really? I've done that. I mean, I don't do it. I don't go out of my way to do it, but
yeah, but I was like, okay, like it was just awkward because it didn't seem normal. You know, like I know you need
to feel pads around your ankles.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I didn't have no shirt on. I'm sitting there naked. So it's usually like, you know, before or after you shower, you know, after,
hopefully before.
Yeah, having the shit after the shower is the worst.
You ever be like just get into the shower, the hot water hits you, and you're like, damn, I gotta take a shit, and then you get out to go take a shit.
No.
Oh
no.
So, but I was like, damn. So I'm sitting there. I was sitting there naked, and then like my legs is moving freely, and I'm like, okay, like there's no pants to keep my ankles from splitting apart.
Right. You get to sit them.
You know, like I kind of like the little bit of a resistance I have. You know, it's like, all right, it's like as you sitting there struggling to take a shit, like your ankles are struggling to, you know, kind of get apart. But I was like, how the fuck would you do that every time? Right. Especially like in a public bathroom. I don't know about y'all, but I think I have public bathroom phobia. And this goes from being when I was in 6th grade, right? And I'll call this I'm gonna call this one a BP's Miami tale, right? But this was back in the day. So when I was out of school, my aunt wouldn't let me go to like I wouldn't have summer. Like I would have to go to year-round school. She wanted to make sure I got an education. I could try to, you know, if I wanted to go to college, I had that means and things like that. So I went into summer programs. So I go to this summer program, and it was at a high school. So it was a bunch of, I want to say, you know, kids academically gifted to the point.
Nerds.
Okay, I'll go with that. I wouldn't call them nerds though, because you know, it was just people. You know, it doesn't mean they were smart. You know, but they were trying to better themselves academically. So we would always go to lunch. After lunch, the teacher would take us all to the bathroom, right? And you know, everybody would go to the bathroom, and then you get your bathroom break to go back to class. So this is when I first realized that people were sick in the head. So like people would be waiting in line to go to bathroom, and the dudes would be using the urinal and then looking over at the other dude, and then they was like comparing dicks.
Oh, so that's your reasoning.
So
not that people are filthy.
Nah, I wasn't even thinking about that, but they was like looking at each other's dicks, and they're like, "Oh, look at this and look at that," and it's like, "Wow!" Like, you know, like I don't want you looking at my dick. Like, granted, I don't mind showing it off on OnlyFans for $50 a subscription. Wait, is that a plug?
But I mean, that is a plug. You got that bad, so whip it out.
Yeah, but when I was 11, 12 years old. Who knows what you got, man? How many dicks did you see when you was 11 to 12 years old?
I played sports.
So you saw a lot of dicks. Just say it, man. It's okay.
It is what it is.
You know, how many times did coach touch you?
None.
It took you a second to think about that.
No, you just saw my face.
Look, you can keep Coach.
Sir, I grew up in the Bible Belt. Even if he wanted to, he wouldn't have.
Oh, you mean like all those priests and stuff?
Right.
Oh, I'm not Catholic. That's a down south thing, buddy.
So, but anyway, so you know, I'm 11, 12 years old. I'm not there maturity wise. You know, like I hadn't seen a whole bunch of pornos. You know, this was back in 97, 98, 99. There was no internet whatsoever.
Right.
You know, I mean, there was, but it wasn't accessible like that. Because you didn't have smartphones or anything. It was dial-up internet. So it's not like you could explore yourself like sexually. You know, you barely started masturbating at that age. But so all these kids, they didn't know anybody. They were just looking at each other's dicks. Like, hey, look, my dick's bigger than yours. So I was just uncomfortable. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to the bathroom. Not.
That's so much more wholesome than my reason for not using.
Well,
public
yeah,
restrooms.
because my reasoning, and this is true story. I've only used the bathroom for anything other than urination 3 times in my entire life.
Nah, I can't do it. Sometimes I gotta go.
No. and I know that's crazy. I will hold it all day. Seriously. Like it's I know they told me it's not healthy, whatever, but I just can't do it. So the first time, well, all 3 times it was gastrointestinal distress. Like I had the runs and you gotta go. 5th grade, I asked the teacher, I'm like, can I use the restroom? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, cool. And I walk out the door and I go use the restroom. And I mean, like, it was bad, but like I wasn't sitting on the toilet because I was just, my mom, she's in the medical field. She scarred me for life. She used to, when we were little kids, she would like get the toilet paper and this, that, and the other. And she would just be like, oh, people are nasty. You can get germs. You can get sick. You can die, And I'm just like, wow. So she really scarred us from a very young age. So I was like, when I was old enough to realize that I could hold it, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to hold it. So like, I just...
You be prairie dogging out there?
No.
Oh,
I mean...
as you say this, I was like dozing off and I was like, I'm so happy that I was a foster child for a while. And I moved around from schools because when I was in kindergarten and the first school I was in, like it had nap time and I shit my pants during nap time like twice. It was so bad that they had a shower and I guess in the school and they would wash me and send me home. It was like, yo, like if I had to spend 5 years in that fucking school, like
you're the guy that shit himself.
You know what I'm saying? Like you imagine like the fucking torment I would have been through.
Yeah, you'd have been shitty.
So I was so happy. Like I'm thinking about this now, like like being in custody battles with my parents and foster care. I was like, it kind of worked out in my favor because I never was in a school long enough to get some type of fucking nickname. I didn't spend a full year in school till middle school. Like every year, it was always I was half year here, half year there, half year there, half year there. My first full year of school in one school was 5th grade.
Jesus,
right? And in 5th grade, that's when they were like, "There's something wrong with him. Like he's smarter than he should be." But nobody ever knew because I was never in a fucking school long enough to actually like. I would test and then I would move before the test results would come. You know, and when I was in foster care, they would tell the teachers we were foster kids so they wouldn't get like too attached to you because they knew you were leaving. But, again, to that point, I shit my pants twice when I was a kid. Not afraid to admit it,
No, you're good.
I mean, I've done it once, but I was at home. And I just kind of like my grandmother, she realized it because like I threw the underwear and they hit a tree limb and they were just hanging there.
He threw. We're sitting there having these like fucking jokes about pooping and shit. It's like it reminds me of South Park. The book they wrote that Butters wrote.
What book that he wrote?
When it was just like it was like what is it like Shitty McBooger Pants or something like that.
I have no recollection of this.
Anyway, so going back to this, like you said, you haven't used a public bathroom, but 3 times the shit. I
can't do it.
So again, like my phobia is the public restroom. One, because I don't like standing at a urinal with my dick in my hands because I'm afraid that's the time I'm most vulnerable. Like if you ran up on me and I had my dick in my hands, like what am I supposed to do? You're like put them up, like I need 2 hands to hold the bitch. So, like I can't put them up. It's a fire hose I'm working with.
That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why I don't use urinals. Is because in middle school, what they would do is they would run up to people and like they would kick them in the back of the knee and then make them drop and piss all over their shit. I may or may not have been kicked, and I may not have done some kicking. So that's reason number one. I don't use urinals.
Were you in my school? You would have got your ass.
Were you avoiding the karma payback?
No, it was. I was burnt, so I felt the need to burn other people. But
also, so you made me piss on myself, so I'm gonna go pick on somebody less fortunate. Wow! No wonder people are constantly bullied. You bully somebody, they go bully somebody else, and then that person brings a gun to the school.
Yes.
In my day, in my school, there were no guns. Nobody was even thinking that. But you mess with somebody, there was a few things off limits. And talking about somebody's parents was one of them. Messing with somebody while they was using the bathroom was another. You would have got your ass drugged.
As a kid, I hated go to the bathroom when anybody around.
Right.
Like literally, like when in this school, right? It would wait to the point where we would get back to class, and then I wait like 10 minutes, and I'd ask to go to the bathroom. And they were like, we just, and then I just started walking. You know, it's like fuck it.
Right.
Like I gotta pee, I gotta go. You know, it was just weird. But now as a grown up, like as I realize certain things, I look at who the fuck designed the public restroom.
That's only here in the U.S. that it's that like fucking creepy.
Like,
I mean, actually, honestly, I don't mind using a urinal because A, I don't have those traumas, and B, you know, I'm not thinking somebody's gonna jump me.
Well,
while
yeah,
I'm
because
pissing.
you got one hand on it and one hand holding the wall. Like us that have to hold it with two hands, bro. Like we're fucked.
So, A, you say you don't like to look at folks' dicks, so how would you know? That's my thing. You're just making these wild assumptions.
Listen, you don't have to.
Of the two of us, you're the one melanin challenged.
Get it.
So,
I'm the one. What?
Melanin challenged.
What's that mean?
We're talking about dick sizes, aren't we?
I don't understand the word you're using, bro. We just talked about people can't spell giraffe, and you're using words I don't fucking know.
And you were in the smart school?
Listen, I'm mathematically smart. When it comes to that artistic spelling, grammar,
Reading comprehension.
That's not me. Okay. I can't spell giraffe.
He's not
but
so much with the language arts, but we have a podcast.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Hey, I could talk shit all day. You ask me to write it down, we gonna have an issue.
Okay.
Like, how you spell that again? No, but so like the public restroom, the shit that creeps me out the most is the big ass fucking gaps.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you've only taken a shit in public 3 times,
bro.
right?
I can't. No, if it's contact,
yeah,
no.
So it's already uncomfortable knowing that at any given point in time, somebody could put their hand underneath the stall and ask me to spare 4 squares.
No, it was 1 square. And then she changed it to 1 ply. I'll take 1 ply.
You know, like you can't spare a square. No, I can't spare a fucking square. Get the fuck. Or you know, some type of senator like toe tapping under the shit. Like it's already creepy as fuck to be inside this small ass like confined space.
I use the handicap stall.
Regardless of the stall, I mean, I'm talking about the big ass gap. Because it like
you're right though.
Yeah.
You're right. I often wonder, like, you remember that episode of Seinfeld where he was trying to get the doors to go all the way down in Yankee Stadium? He was on to something.
You know, but why? Why not? Like, we have to do the research because I know I'm not the only one.
No,
you know, I'm just saying, like, when I shit, I want to shit in peace, right? If I got to shit in public, okay. It's already nerve-wracking as it is. So then it's like, man, I got to shit in peace. But then, you know, like, there's nothing wrong with taking a shit. But there's something wrong with the dude watching me take a shit.
Right.
You know, I'm trying to shit and kill time and play Angry Birds on the toilet. And you sitting there, like, fucking looking at me.
So, lucky for me, I've worked in office buildings. In every office building I've ever worked at, I've got the cleaning schedule mapped out. When the crew comes through and cleans, I know when most people go to the bathroom, so then I can go to like the 4th floor bathroom at like 2:15, 2:30 and know there ain't nobody in there and they just cleaned it like 40 minutes ago.
Have you ever been that guy that the guy's like cleaning the bathroom?
Yes.
He's either in process of cleaning it or just finished cleaning it, and he sees you walk into that stall.
And he's looking at you like,
he's looking at you like,
so I just cleaned that.
So
he's giving you the eyeballs, like I just fucking cleaned that, man. Fuck.
There are a lot of experiences in life. I'm like, man, I'll never know what that's like. But having him just finish cleaning it, you walk in. And then he goes in to clean the women's restroom, and it's like 20 minutes, and you're walking out the same time he's walking out the women's restroom, and we both know what I just did. That's what the walk of shame must feel like for women.
when you come out the men's bathroom and you make eye contact with the janitor while he comes out of the women's bathroom, and you tilt your brain down low and keep it moving.
That must be what it's like to be like Sunday morning walking with your high heels in your hand, just trying to catch a cab.
See me, I could be like, don't worry, I just peed.
Oh shit! So high heels brings me to another topic, right? So I'm talking to my man Franklin at work today, and he's got this old ass Android phone.
Why?
Right? He just does. He cheap. He got money. He just cheap.
Okay, I respect that.
So he's got a Boost mobile phone with like a 3 GB plan. Right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, bullshit. And we play fantasy football, so he's using it, and his phone's slow as fuck. So I was like, yo, man, like, I'm proud of you because you never have your phone on you. He's like, because the battery keep dying. So he can't keep his phone on him because the battery barely lasts an hour on the phone. Oh, so he always got to plug it up to charge. So I'm like sitting there the whole time like, yo, I'm sitting here giving you mad props because you never have your phone on you at work. Like, you always got it, tucked away in the office. And now I'm like, now I realized the mind fuck. I was like, it's because your phone's cheap as fuck.
I'm not a good employee. I just have a shitty phone.
You brought up a very interesting point, and that's like people can't be without their phones. Like, I am very selective in that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of times if I'm in the moment, the phone's not nowhere near me, not in my hand. I'm not looking at it.
I mean, I don't really do shit with my phone. To be honest, like I play games, a Dokkan Battle, maybe Pokemon every now and then. I get a couple emails. I don't really browse I don't do a lot with it. Like, I use it for music and then when I need to fact check something or do something, but like I don't have friends. So like I don't got like a million people where I'm blasting, talking back. Our listeners haven't followed me enough on IG to really give me a reason to be on the phone. But I was showing my dude. So anyway, I'm showing my dude. He was like, yo, like, I got to get a new plan. He's looking at different Boost plans. So I'm like, I've used 23 gigabytes of data this month, between browsing the internet and all that other shit.
After you just said that you don't be on your phone that much.
Yeah, but again,
that's
like
streaming,
that's streaming things, that's working on the podcast, that's all this other shit. Okay. So they had a 35 gigabyte plan, and I was like, yo, you should be fine with that, because if I did 23, you use your phone less than me, you should be good. But I was like, bro, you always got to have a phone on you. Because I always think back to this one time in Miami, right? We was at the Hard Rock Hollywood Casino. We got there. I was fresh. White shirt. It was a Marc Ecko cut and sew. Some nice jeans. Some white. I had the white Nikes that had I think it was, I don't want to say Chinese or Japanese, but it had the
kanji writing on it.
The kanji, okay, on the back. They was I was looking fresh. We went to Wet Willie's over there, and I got a Superman. Typical staple. My phone goes off. This was so old. This is so back in the day. I had the BlackBerry. I think it was like the 7500, the BlackBerry with the scroll ball in the middle.
Yeah.
So I go, and it had this little leather pouch. The BlackBerries came with a leather pouch. So I go to pull the phone out of my fucking pouch with my mouth, because I had the drink in my other hand. The phone goes out the pouch, slips out of my mouth into the drink. It all over me. Phone dies. Not a big deal. As we're doing that, and this brings me to him talking about the chicks with the heels. We used to we were savages at the Hard Rock. Mm-hmm. We had this one hookah spot that we used to frequent, and it was bring your own booze. So we used to show up. We used to show up with bottles.
I remember club.
And then buy the mixers from them, and we would be sitting there. And this was right on the outskirts of the clubs. So literally we was in there poaching for the chicks that was walking by with their shoes in their hand. Because you knew it was a rough night. Mm-hmm. Especially if you walk in from the club with your shoes in your hand with no dude.
Right.
So we was there, and the chick walks by, and she got the shoes in her hand. And she was right. So I don't approach too many women. Like, I'm very reserved unless I'm super drunk. Then, all bets are off. But I go run up to her, and I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, talking to her for a minute. You know, we was kind of vibing. So I was like, yo, let me get your number. And I'm like, fuck, my phone doesn't work. I was like, so take my number and call me. And we all know what happens when you do that.
They don't ever call.
They not calling you. All right. So I was looking at my dude Franklin. I'm like, bro, you need to get you a good phone or keep pen and paper in your pocket. Because giving the chick your phone number ain't going to work.
Neither just giving them your email.
Oh, shit. So I'm gonna go into the thirst trap, right? So one night we were on South Beach. Me, Andre, Chewy, couple other people, and we're walking. You know how we do. We typically walk the strip. We're on Ocean Drive. You know, we bounce usually between Wet Willie's, the Clevelander. You know, between 8th and 10th and Ocean.
Clevelander is my jam. Go ahead.
So these two chicks walk by. So me and Andre, we jump on it. Yeah, we sitting there talking to them. Yeah, we vibing. We go to we went to Fat Tuesdays because that's where they were going. So we get in line. We get to Fat Tuesdays. Once we get into Fat Tuesdays, they shut Fat Tuesdays down. It was a fight, and the rule of Fat Tuesdays was it was open until a fight broke out.
And there was always a fight breaking out.
It didn't close. It didn't have a closing time. The closing time was when the first fight happened. The first fight happened, everybody was getting the fuck out. If that happened at midnight or 2 a.m. The first fight, that's it. So anyway, we was talking to the chicks, and the chick wasn't feeling Andre at all.
Not at all.
So he was like, "Let me get your number," and she was like, "No, I don't know you like that." And then he was like, "Well, what about your email?" And she
sounds just like you, Andre.
And she was like, nah. He says, well, what about your mailing address? I'll send you a postcard.
Hey man,
you talk about being super thirsty. Like he was not giving up.
Bro, but you know what? You gotta give him points for that.
No, he didn't quit.
It was shameful, bro. It was shameful.
He didn't quit. I mean,
you're reachable. Which medium can I reach?
Like what you gonna do? Send her an e-card with a little.
Send her an e-bike.
E-bike to fucking the next time he goes to the club.
Yeah, but they didn't have video chat wasn't popular back then either. So it's like you were let me get your AIM.
Listen,
but that's the thing. I talked to bitches like over AIM for extended period of time. The one whose name I didn't know for over a year, and I was talking to.
Listen, I cut my teeth on AIM, bro. I found out a lot about the world because I'm an '80s baby, but I was sheltered. I got on AIM. I was about 6th, 7th grade.
You remember the typical phrase when you was in the chat room?
ASL
question mark. I remember the first time I was I guess introduced to that was in 9th grade. I went to a computer magnet. So the kids was playing virtual pool. On something called Jippy. But it was UK, so it was because you couldn't go to the English websites at school because the school would block it. Like Dade schools would block certain websites.
Right. Yeah,
at a .com. So this was jippy.co.uk.
Right.
So it would spool this little, real basic pool game that you would play with somebody.
I used to play it.
And people used to fucking like chat with other people. And it was like, they used to go, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? Because somebody told me to play pool. So I was like, all right, let me go play pool. And then and you play with somebody, the first thing they do is ask you ASL. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? What the hell's ASL?
Yeah. I had to figure that one out too because, again, straight-laced parents. And this girl was like ASL. I'm like, what is that?
You think she was a girl?
I think she was a girl.
You know what's crazy though is that there's more catfishing now than there was back in the day.
Exactly.
Back in the day, it was probably super easy to catfish. Nowadays, everybody's like on point looking for it, but it still be some Somalian prince trying to get your cash.
Yeah,
I'm the captain of this ship now. Me.
That's why I prefer face to face, or as the girls like to call them, meet cutes.
Yeah, but I tell you, like the change of scenery between when we was young to now,
sir.
It's completely different.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you go from something like MySpace. I still think MySpace was better than Facebook is now. I mean,
MySpace was lit. I'm not even gonna lie.
My personal opinion, because you could set your own friends up. You could post like music and stuff on it. I mean, you could update it.
Your page.
You could take pictures. You could take pictures in the back of cop cars and post it and freak everybody out. You know,
how would you post a picture if you really got arrested? No one ever thought about that part.
Yo, all right. So I'm gonna end the podcast with that story. I mean, this is just like I guess these episodes are gonna lead up to the big episode 20.
Right.
So me and Andre, we used to like to walk the city. So one night I get off of work. He's like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "I don't know." He was like, "My mom's got the car." You know, we were still young at that time. So it was like, all right, well, let's go take a walk. And we used to love to walk over the Bell Harbor Bridge from North Miami into Bell Harbor, you know, go over there by the Flanagans on 96th Street, by the Bell Harbor shops. You know, we used to just walk. So, you know, it was a long-ass walk, too. I mean, I don't know how we did it. Like, I can barely walk.
I think about it now, and I'm all like, man, I'm a fat bastard. I can't do that.
I could barely walk down the stairs. Like, I'm at work today walking. I'm like, man, my fucking hamstrings hurt. Like,
yeah, when we were roommates, this fool would bike to work and back and then go for a walk afterwards.
I was telling people today, I was like, I don't know if my hamstrings hurt, but I got diaper rash, but something don't feel right back there. You know, like diaper rash is a serious thing. Like, these motherfuckers want you to wear tight pants to work, and then you be out there and I can't even stretch, so I can't stretch my hammies, but then my thighs be rubbing together. I swear, like, I don't know how thick chicks be doing it. That's why they always be pulling the wedgies out. But anyway, I digress from my story. So we went to take this walk. So we start on 123rd and Biscayne. We start walking. We get towards the end, the toll plaza. We get over the bridge, right? He's wearing some funky ass multicolor like dragon shirt.
You've seen it. You've seen it online.
I've seen it.
It's the typical dragon t-shirt.
I had on a blue shirt with a white Under Armour fitted shirt underneath it. So blue and white, and a black Scully that had the place I work on the front of it. Mm-hmm. You know, because it was cold. It was in December. So we get over the bridge.
But I mean, how cold was it really? It's Miami.
I mean, we was taking a breeze. We was walking in the breeze. You know what I'm saying? So we're going towards the beach. You know, it gets cooler. So I just had it on. You know, right. It was cool enough to wear it, but not needed.
Right.
So we get over the bridge, and immediately, you know, I'm from the hood, so I peep the cops watching us. So I'm like, all right, let's sit down at this bench. We about to get swarmed by cops. Andre's like, what? We sit down at the bench. Woo! 3 cops run up on us. Hey, we got a story. 2 people were breaking into cars. And it's like, oh, we just happen to be 2 people, right? What a coincidence.
This was, hold on. To set the scene, this was before cell phones proved over policing and police abuse. So this is back when a cop told you, yeah, we got reports of such and such. You'd be all like, man, that's a weird coincidence. And you would only half second think it instead of now when they go, yeah, we got reports of people who look like you. You're like, man, whatever bullshit you want to say.
Right.
So we're sitting there. They're looking around the fuck. They watched us walk from here to there. So they saw us. They're looking around the park bench to see if they can find any, like, you know, like we dropped something. But they've been watching us. And granted, we was not dressed like criminals. You know, he was just a funky dragon shirt. I'm in a blue shirt, middle of the night.
Jeans and sneakers.
Yeah. So they actually did a profile on us. I had 1 tattoo at the time. They took the profile. We looked at the cops. It was like, should we turn around and go home? We're in Bay Harbor, or we're Bay Harbor. That's where we're at. He said, nah, you'll be good. We sent it to dispatch already. Okay, no problem. So we keep walking. We're walking. We get to 96th Street. We're about to hit the right to go towards the Flanagans. As we're walking towards the Flanagans, it's an undercover cop across the street.
You left something out.
No. I'm getting to it.
Oh, okay.
There's an undercover cop watching us from across the street. You can tell. Hands in the jacket, keep staring at us. So we're like, maybe we should just turn around. When we say that, over here in the cut is a dude with a tripod camera set up in a pink robe. He runs out in front of this cop car, pulls out his robe to take a picture. Right? Fucking streaking and shit, flashing the camera. And I look straight over at the undercover cop. I'm like, that shit's not fucking suspect? Like, you sitting there watching us. This dude's in a pink bathrobe, fucking flashing the camera and shit in front of a cop car. He sees us, he scatters, grabs his shit, jumps in his little Honda and takes off. So we walk and I'm like, all right, fuck it. We'll keep walking. Then we're like, you know what? We got to turn around. Like, this is it. We're tired at this point. So we turn around and come back. Next thing I know, we get swarmed by cops again. And got the one dude on a bicycle, 2 cop cars, that one dude that was following us, running across another parking lot to get us. So I was like, fuck. So I dropped to my knees and put my hands behind my head. I'm like, I'm done with this shit. They're like, oh, we got reports. I'm like, they just stopped us. They stopped us in Bay Harbor. We crossed some type of city line. It was Bell Harbor now. It went from Bay Harbor to Bell Harbor. It was completely different. So they were like sitting there and like, what do you got? We're taking a walk. And then they're talking to each other. What are they doing here? They said they're taking a walk. That's what we're fucking doing. Right. All we were doing was taking a fucking walk. We had nothing else to do. We didn't want to go home. We were getting some exercise. Yeah, it was late at night, but we stayed on the main fucking road. It's not like we was creeping in between cars.
Right.
So we're done. We're like, fuck this. Andre got the great idea to say, hey, can you drive us across the bridge? Right? That way we don't get stopped no more. It was a decent...
Shit was... Listen.
But that's not their jurisdiction.
It was a decent walk.
It's like an hour walk from where we were just to the other side of the bridge. And it's one thing when we were just walking to walk and we were chilling. But then after getting stopped and harassed twice in a row, I was just done with everything.
So dude is like, all right, get in the back of the car. So he opens the door. Andre jumps in the back. I'm like, bro, you have no fucking idea what you just did. He willingly jumped in the back.
This is before.
He didn't realize cop cars don't open from the inside. So
absolutely don't.
So we had the bright idea. We're like, let's take some pictures. We take some pictures of us like with our hands behind our back in the back of the cop car.
Like we fucked up and shit.
And then we post them on MySpace. And everybody's like, oh my God, what happened to you guys?
Wow.
Which is crazy. But the real crazy part is what happens next, right? So we're in the back of this cop car. We asked the cop if we could take the pictures. He was like, yeah, at that point they were cool. I guess they realized, there's nothing wrong with us.
We're just some fucking kids.
We're some kids out here. They're driving us back across the bridge, and on his fucking walkie-talkie, they said there's a guy running menacing with a fucking shotgun. So he's like, I gotta drop you guys off here. Like, there's a fucking guy out there with a shotgun. You're just gonna drop us off in the middle of the fucking street.
I would have been like, if you don't mind, sir, we gonna tag along.
No, I want to be protected. Like,
we'll tag along.
You leaving me out in the fucking street with a guy with a shotgun? He dropped us off right on the other side of the bridge. He was like, y'all motherfuckers is all your own.
Right.
Wow.
And then we had to split up because we lived in different ways. I lived south and he lived west. So it's like, all right, I hope you make it home, homie, because like, who knows? So the moral of the story is,
I don't know.
Don't go menacing with shotguns in public because the cops will find you.
That one up on the fly, did we?
Yeah.
So with that, we're running into time. So I do want to thank everybody for tuning into the podcast. Again, I wanted to shout out to Orlando, the clothing company. It's going to be a big movement out here. All of the elite of avenues, elite entertainment, elite photos, elite management, all of that. Follow us on social media, BP_2Dab. We got 2Dab Crew merchandise coming out. And stay tuned for episode 20 where we go live. So please DM us your topics you want us to talk about on the podcast. And we're going to hit you with a peace.
Peace.